자, 그러면 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 반려동물 문화는 계속 진화하고 있습니다. 동물이라고 해서 고통에 대해 무책임, 무시, 더 이상 하면 안 되는 거겠죠? 호주의 수도 캔버라가 있는 수도 특별자치구 의회가 동물을 감정적인 존재로 인정하고 동물 복지를 획기적으로 증진하는 법률 개정안을 추진하고 있다고 합니다. 우선 밀폐된 공간에 24시간 이상 갇힌 개를 발견한 사람은 2시간 이상 산책시킬 의무가 있고요. 또 이를 어길 시에는 최고 4,000 호주 달러, 즉 우리 돈으로 한 300만 원의 벌금이 부과된다고 합니다. Let's listen to the story.
A set of proposed new laws in the ACT region of Australia would become the first in that country to recognize animals as sentient beings. The animal welfare amendments would establish a suite of additional offenses, including hitting or kicking an animal, abandonment, and confinement in a car. Having an animal in a moving vehicle without proper restraint would be punishable by up to 1 year in prison or a $16,000 fine, or both.
네, 외신 기자들의 타이틀을 보면은 대부분 이 단어가 나옵니다. sentient, 우리도 곧 볼 텐데요. 이제 반려동물을 감정적인 존재로 공식 인정을 하려는 이 움직임 자체가 굉장히 큰 의미가 있다라고 보는 것 같고요. 자, 여기 나와 있죠. 바로 첫 문장입니다. It's the first that these animals, pets, are being recognized as sentient beings.
Yeah, and that's really the key word to the story. It's not a word that you're going to hear very often, but you will hear it, I think, more and more now, especially from Australian stories. And if it's sentient, if a being is classified or determined to be sentient, that means they are able to perceive things or feel things with their senses. So that's sort of a key to that word, sense.
How do you spell this word?
It's a good question. S-E-N-T-I-E-N-T.
네, sentient 이렇게 스펠링을 하지만 보통 발음은 sentient 아니면 sentient?
I think both. I'm a little bit more on the sentient side because
me too.
I'm a bit lazy, but
Well,
sentient. But I
me
think
too.
yeah, I think
네.
that's probably the most common. I think.
네, 이게 T가 가운데 있지만 이게 약간 스 발음처럼 중간에 발음이 됩니다. 그래서 그냥 센스 생각하시면 될 것 같아요. 감정적인 존재라는 의미로 여기서 쓰였고 평소에 많이 쓰이는 단어는 아니에요. 그래서 특별히 이번에 호주에서 이렇게 규정을 하려고 합니다. The Animal Welfare Amendments would establish a suite of additional offenses.
So very simply, we can think of that phrase, a suite of something, meaning several. So a suite of something is a collection of many things put together as one thing, and then that one thing is available. Sometimes software is referred to as a suite of software because you will buy one thing, but inside that you'll get several different programs. I'm thinking of a word processor, an accounting program, and a presentation program are a suite of programs within one sort of brand.
여러 개라는 뜻의 스위트고요. 우리가 보통 호텔 스위트 할 때 그 스펠링이랑 같습니다. S-U-I-T-E.
Yep.
근데 스위트 S-W-E-E-T랑 발음은 똑같지만 전혀
Exactly
다른
the
단어죠.
same, yep.
네, 전혀 다른 단어입니다. Okay, and so having an animal in a moving vehicle without proper restraint would be punishable.
So we'll look at that word restraint. In this context, restraint refers to a device which limits or prevents movement. So
Like a seatbelt.
A seatbelt is a perfect example. That is an active restraint because you have to actively put it on.
Yep.
The airbags in your car, if your car has them, and it likely does,
Right.
those are known as passive restraints because you don't have to do anything, but they are a restraint as well.
여기서의 restraint는 보호 장치를 말해요. 근데 보통 우리가 restrain 한다 그러면 뭔가 이렇게 못 움직이게 막는다라는
Yes.
그런 약간 부정적인 뉘앙스로 생각할 수 있지만 여기서는 proper restraint, 제대로 된 그런 보호 장치를 말하기 때문에 좀 긍정적인 의미로 볼 수 있겠고요. 그런 게 없는 vehicle, a moving vehicle without this would be punishable. 역시 처벌받을 수 있다라는 겁니다. 저는 또 이 기사에서 흥미로웠던 것이 자동차 안에 동물이 갇혀 있는 거를 만약 발견했을 때는 이 동물을 구하기 위해서 차를 부수는 것도 법적으로 허용이 된다고 해요. 그래서 이거 참 흥미롭더라고요. 이제 This, of course, has to pass legislation, and we will see this happening soon, I understand.
If indeed passed without any changes, yes, that's a good point. These are proposed new laws.
All right. Well, let's listen to this story one more time.
A set of proposed new laws in the ACT region of Australia would become the first in that country to recognize animals as sentient beings. The animal welfare amendments would establish a suite of additional offenses, including hitting or kicking an animal, abandonment, and confinement in a car. Having an animal in a moving vehicle without proper restraint would be punishable by up to 1 year in prison or a $16,000 fine, or both.
자, 두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 초고령 사회가 된 일본이 고령자가 70세까지 일을 할 수 있도록 고령자 고용안정법 개정안을 마련했습니다. 이 개정안은 기업이 이를 위해 노력의 의무를 다해야 한다는 것이 주요 내용인데요. 70세까지 정년을 연장하는 것뿐만 아니라 다른 기업으로의 재취업 지원, 창업 지원도 촉구하기로 했습니다. Let's listen to the story.
The Japanese government plans to urge companies to hire employees until age 70 as part of measures to address the country's severe labor crunch. Currently, employees are legally entitled to work until 65, and employers are obliged to rehire them. However, even if the new law is passed, there will be no penalties if companies fail to comply to the new age limit. Japan has already introduced a series of steps to make up for its labor shortfall, including importing foreign workers and promoting women's participation in the labor market.
네, 기존 65세에서 이제 70세로 연령이 올라간 것이고요. 여러 가지 개정안의 내용을 또 살펴봤습니다. The Japanese government plans to urge companies to hire employees until age 70 as part of measures to address the country's severe labor crunch.
Right, so we'll look at that very last word of that first paragraph, crunch. Now, I'm sure our listeners are maybe familiar with that word in the sense of the sound that a carrot makes, perhaps, when you eat it. But in this case, a crunch refers to a situation in which someone or something has too little of something. And we very often hear it in business news when companies are suffering a credit crunch or a cash crunch. For example, we might say the company is facing a cash crunch after having to reimburse customers for the defective product.
네, 경제 뉴스에서 많이 나오는 단어인데요. 부족 사태를 뜻합니다. 그래서 crunch. 보통 우리가 음식에서 말하는 crunch는 약간 뭐랄까요? 바삭바삭 이런 느낌?
That's crunchy, I guess. Crunch.
생각해보니까 제가
Maybe it is
옛날에
out crunch as well.
네,
아삭아삭.
제가 옛날에 그 바삭바삭 영국 영어 진행했었거든요.
네.
그때 우리가 크런치 뭐 이렇게 영어 제목을 붙였던 것 같아요. 갑자기 생각나네요. 어쨌든 그 크런치도 있지만 여기서는 그게 아니고요. 부족 사태를 말하기 때문에 severe 아주 극도의 labor crunch 노동자 부족을 말합니다. 일할 사람들이 부족하다라는 뜻이죠. Currently, employees are legally entitled to work until 65 and employers are obliged to rehire them.
So we'll look at that word obliged. That's O-B-L-I-G-E-D, obliged. And if you're obliged to do something, then you are kind of forced to do it, or you feel that you really must do it for some reason. Here's my example sentence.
Yep.
Even though I didn't want to stay at Punita's housewarming party, I felt obliged to stay because Sue was arriving soon as well.
네, 여러분 오해 마시길 바랍니다. 월터 선생님과 푸니타 선생님은 또 친합니다.
Yeah, of course.
그래서 이렇게 흉을 보는
We
거예요.
go way back, yes.
Obliged to do something, 그럼 어쩔 수 없이라는 뜻이에요. 네, 푸니타 씨의 하우스워밍 파티 가고 싶지 않았지만 어쩔 수 없이 갔다라고 예문을 좀 들어주셨네요. Be obliged to 뭐뭐뭐 그러면은 뭐 의무감에 의해서 어쩔 수 없이라는 뜻인데 여기서는 이제 기존에는 어쩔 수 없이 재고용을 하는 그런 형태가 있었다라는 내용이 되겠고요. However, even if the new law is passed, there will be no penalties if companies fail to comply.
Right, comply. The pronunciation here, some may be a little bit different. I think sometimes might People, if they're unfamiliar, they might mistakenly say compli, but it is comply. And to comply is to do what you are asked to do or to adhere to a set of standards, rules, or laws. So, for example, all new cars must comply with a set of strict emissions regulations.
따르다라는 뜻의 comply가 여기서 쓰였는데요. 정년을 65세에서 이제 70세로 연장하는 이런 내용이 있는데 이거를 이제 따르지 않는다고 해서 뭐 페널티가 있는 것은 아니다라는 내용이네요. And if we relate that to our first news focus story, dog owners have to comply with the new law.
Yes, if they're indeed passed, that's a perfect
Yeah, I think
example.
it's going to pass this week, so
Yeah.
very soon, yeah. All right, well, let's listen to this story one more time.
The Japanese government plans to urge companies to hire employees until age 70 as part of measures to address the country's severe labor crunch. Currently, employees are legally entitled to work until 65, and employers are obliged to rehire them. However, even if the new law is passed, there will be no penalties if companies fail to comply to the new age limit. Japan has already introduced a series of steps to make up for its labor shortfall, including importing foreign workers and promoting women's participation in the labor market.
Now, once again, let's remind our listeners of today's quiz.
Our quiz today, the Cannes Film Festival takes place in what country? Is it number 1, France, or number 2, Mexico?
짧은 문자는 50원, 긴 문자는 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 유기농 건강즙 보내드리겠습니다. And when we come back, we have another news-focused story. This is Michael Bublé and Reese Witherspoon. Something Stupid. 자, 세 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 화가 모네의 작품이 1,300억 원이 넘는 고가에 낙찰됐다는 소식을 어제 전해드렸는데요. 이번에는 현대미술 작품이 새로운 기록을 세웠습니다. 바로 제프 쿤즈의 토끼라는 작품인데요. 미국 뉴욕에서 열린 크리스티 경매에서 무려 9,110만 달러, 우리 돈으로 약 1,000억 원에 낙찰되며 생존 작가의 작품으로서는 가장 비싼 예술품이 됐습니다. Let's listen to the story.
A sculpture by American artist Jeff Koons sold for $91.1 million recently, a record price for a living artist. Entitled Rabbit, the piece is a stainless steel casting of an inflatable rabbit that stands just over 1 meter in height. Koons created Rabbit in 1986, and it's among the best-known works by this artist, who has built a reputation for challenging art world conventions. Koons jumped to international recognition for raising eyebrows with his sometimes racy artwork.
네, 이번에 이렇게 최고가로 낙찰된 토끼라는 작품은요. 풍선처럼 공기로 부풀린 듯한 은색 토끼 작품입니다. 그런데 it has no facial features. 뭐 눈, 코, 입 이런 게 없어요. 그래서 어떻게 보면은 이제 크리스티 측에서 이렇게 설명을 하더라고요. 20세기를 대표하는 그런 현대 미술 작품이다. 그러면서 이제 뭐 어린 시절 우리가 모든 거를 이제 시각적으로 이해했던 그런 마음을 자아내는, 불러내는 그런 작품이다라고 또 평가를 하기도 했습니다. A sculpture by American artist Jeff Koons is sold for $91 million and it's called Rabbit. This piece is a stainless steel casting of an inflatable rabbit.
So we've been looking at the word cast in terms of casting ballots recently, and I thought, well, this is an opportunity to look at that same word in a different context. Here in this context, casting is a manufacturing method or process that uses liquid metal, which is often also called molten metal, that is poured into a mold to make something. So this is made by pouring stainless steel into a mold, and the mold is of an inflatable rabbit, and we'll talk about inflatable in just a moment.
여기서의 이제 steel casting이라고 했을 때는 casting이 주물이라는 뜻으로 쓰였습니다. 그런데 이 cast가 어떤 배역을 주다라는 의미로도 쓰죠. 우리 cast 그러니까 뭐 배우를 선정할 때도 이런 단어 쓰는 것 같아요.
Yes, indeed. Actually, it can be a verb in that sense.
Yep.
So we could say that director Bong cast this certain person in
Yeah.
his latest movie. And we can also refer to all of the actors and actresses in a movie as the cast.
그리고 우리가 보통 어디 부러지거나 그러면은 깁스를 한다 그러잖아요. 이건 영어로 어떻게 표현하나요?
Right, that's a great point. That is also a cast. So, true story, I broke my arm 3 times when I was a kid, so I had to have 3 casts.
그러면은 I had a gips 하면 안 돼요?
No, not at all. Nobody will understand what you're talking about.
Okay. I had to have a cast.
Yes.
cast 이렇게 표현하시면 되겠고요. cast의 다양한 뜻을 일단 한번 살펴봤는데 inflatable rabbit.
Yes, the rabbit here was inflatable. If you are talking about something that is inflatable, it is something that can be filled with air. So if you ever visit a friend in North America, there's a very good chance that that friend might ask you to sleep on an inflatable mattress.
아, 그렇군요. 뭔가 바람을 불어 넣을 수 있는 거를 inflatable이라고 합니다. 그래서 inflatable mattress 같은 경우는 이제 바람을 넣어서 만드는 그런 makeshift bed 같은 거, 임시 침대를 뜻하는데요. 아, 선생님은 친구 집에 놀러 갔을 때 이런 공기 넣는 침대에서 주무셨었나 봐요.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience of that, as well as when you go rafting sometimes, which is popular in Korea, you'd have an inflatable raft.
There you go. Okay. And Koons created Rabbit in 1986. It's among the best-known works by this artist who's built a reputation for challenging art world conventions.
We'll look at that last word of the sentence, conventions. In this context, conventions refers to standards or common ways of doing things
Right.
or commonly acceptable behaviors or actions. So traditional social conventions in Korea frown on women smoking in public and people having tattoos.
컨벤션이 여기서는 관습이나 관례라는 뜻으로 쓰였습니다. 또 다른 의미의 컨벤션은 어떤 대회라는 뜻도 될 수 있죠.
Sure, Korea is one of the top cities in the world now for conventions.
네, 그래서 왜 그 삼성동에 있는 그 Convention and Exhibition의 앞글자를 딴 아주 큰 건물 있죠. 거기서의 convention은 이 대회, 회의 이런 걸 얘기를 합니다.
We often hear of the MICE industry these days, and that stands for meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions.
네, 그렇습니다. All right, and one final expression, I think. In fact, I like both of these. Maybe we'll go to both. Raising eyebrows.
Well, we talked about batting an eye yesterday, and this is similar. If you raise an eyebrow, either literally or figuratively, you're showing surprise or disbelief or mild disapproval. When I suggested to my wife that we buy the biggest, fastest, most expensive electric car, she raised an eyebrow.
그러니까 눈썹이 올라가게 한다라는 거는 부정적인 의미, 긍정적인 의미 다 쓸 수 있을 것 같아요. 그런데 여기서는 살짝 부정적인 의미입니다. 그러니까 우리는 눈살을 찌푸리다라는 표현이 있는데 영어에서는 눈썹이 올라가게 하다라고 해요. 선생님 하실 수 있나요? Can you raise your eyebrows? 네, 이렇게 혹시 보이는 라디오 확인 가능하신 분들.
Judgmental.
이거 뭐지? 하는 그런 이제 눈썹이 살짝 올라가는 거, 우리 눈살 찌푸리는 거라고 하고요. 왜 그랬냐면 racy하기 때문에.
Some of his artwork is racy, and if something is racy, it can be on the simple side, just exciting or shocking, but it can also be on the other side, something that is suggestive in a sort of sexual nature. I was surprised at how racy some of Robert De Niro's recent films were.
네, racy는 야하다는 뜻입니다. 다시 한번 들어볼게요.
A sculpture by American artist Jeff Koons sold for $91.1 million recently, a record price for a living artist. Entitled Rabbit, the piece is a stainless steel casting of an inflatable rabbit that stands just over 1 meter in height. Koons created Rabbit in 1986, and it's among the best-known works by this artist who has built a reputation for challenging art world conventions. Koons jumped to international recognition for raising eyebrows with his sometimes racy artwork.
Walter 선생님, what is the answer to the quiz question today?
That's a lovely French accent. I wish that I could do one. I was practicing a little bit off air. I just couldn't do it. So I have to do it in my Canadian accent. The Cannes Film Festival takes place in what country? Of course, it is. Number one, numero uno, France.
작가님이요. 대구 사투리로 정답 알려주시라고 하셨는데.
다음 주에 하겠습니다.
다음 주에 하겠습니다. 정답 나왔습니다. 1번 프랑스고요. 맞춰주신 분들 중에 5분 추첨했습니다. 조민성님, 민경선님, 나혜경님, 그리고 끝번호 3652 쓰시는 분과 김규선님 모두 축하드립니다. 유기농 건강즙 보내드릴게요. 홈페이지에 들어오셔서 주소 남겨주세요. Alright, well today's expression.
Today's expression, we'll go back to news focus number 2 and we'll look quickly at obliged. Now, if you are obliged to do something, you either have to do it because of a rule or a law or a policy, or, and I think this is more common, you feel that you have to do it perhaps because of some sort of social obligation. So many times, maybe you don't want to go visit your friend for their whatever event they're having, but there's a sort of burden there, so you feel that you are obliged to do it.
의무감으로 뭔가를 한다, 어쩔 수 없이 한다라고 할 때 I feel obliged to do something. I felt obliged to do something 하면 되겠습니다. Wonderful. Well, I hope you didn't feel obliged to be on the show today.
I never do. It is one of the funnest things I've ever done, so I'm always happy to be here.
Well, the feeling is mutual. Thank you so much, sir, for that.
We'll see you next week.
네, 선생님 보내드리면서요. 2부로 넘어가도록 하겠습니다. Coming up in hour 2, we have 영작극장 and lifestyle tips with 정아. Taking us there is a song by Whitney Houston, I Wanna Dance with Somebody.